Alright, can everyone hear me? For these two games, I had to have a slightly different setup. Alright, that's wonderful. Welcome to the stream, Jedok, YouTube, Mr. Lee, Jaden, and anyone else. Today, I will be first playing Mega Man Dr. Wily's Return, and then the first public demo of Mega Man X++. So without further ado, let's jump in. And hope nothing else breaks this time. In the year 20XX AD, after having ruined Dr. Wily's plans for world domination for the 6th time, peace was finally restored on Earth. Imprisoned in jail, Dr. Wily began plotting his revenge in return. After several months, Dr. Wily was rescued by two powerful robots that had been hidden prior to his capture. The peace had been disrupted. You will pay for this, Wily. Greetings, everyone. My name is Adderville, and I welcome you all to my live Let's Play of Mega Man Dr. Wily's Return, an 8-bit Mega Man Classic fan game developed by Atomic Fire. So without further ado, let's begin. Here's our selection of 8 RMs. Iron Man, Blade Man, Earth Man, Atomic Man, Storm Man, Energy Man, Frost Man, and Spike Man. I'll start off by going after Earth Man. You may select which arm to go after next. So we can jump, shoot, slide, and fire charge shots. Although in this game, the charge shot is a bit different. Not so much the full charge shot, but the mid charge shot, which will become apparent during boss battles. And this game does not have controller support, so I'm playing this using a keyboard. And it's running at only 30 FPS too. And as you may notice, sliding is a bit awkward. Especially if you don't hold down the combination. Specifically if you don't hold down a combination. The physics do feel different. It could be worse. At least it works for this time. It could be worse. The physics at least work for this game. I'm not sure when this game came out, actually. That was a surprisingly easy to defeat metal dispenser. There. Oh, and before I forget, we start off with the Mega Buster and the Mega Jump, the latter of which I'll showcase soon enough, as in during the next Roadmaster stage. So that was Earthman's level. Very straightforward. A nice stage to start out with. A good starting stage for this game. As you may have noticed, half-charge shots now deal 2 damage to bosses. Whereas in most Mega Man games, whereas in most mainline Mega Man Classic games, the half-charge shots only deal 1 damage. And because it takes slightly longer to do full charge shots, it means that half-charge shots are actually a viable weapon in this game. And by defeating him, we get the Sonic Blast, which can be used to destroy rocks and other barriers. Let's go after Pyro Man next. Most of the enemies are about the same as they were originally, but there have been some edits. For example, that Methar enemy. And I do like the parallax scrolling going on in the background. And you're right, Genok. These Roadmasters are essentially recolored and combined versions of previous Roadmasters. And you're right, Mr. Lee. Most of these RMs are essentially recolored versions of previous Roadmasters. Or recombinations. Or recombinations of several. Or recombinations of several. Also, it appears that enemies don't really deal that much damage to me. Compared with the previous stage though, this is much better. We actually have unique enemies. And an actual stage gimmick. Here's the Mega Jump in action. Allows you to jump really high. And here's the Sonic Blast. Allows us to destroy those blocks and barriers. Allows us to destroy blocks and barriers like that. And we're forced to use the Sonic Jump. Well, that was my fault actually. I could have had better art. Right now, it's passable. The dev may do with the basic art. The devs may do with the tile sets that are already The devs may do with the art that's already present in Mega Man. The devs may do with what they had, that being mostly unedited versions of the original Mega Man tile sets. But it's pleasantly put together. It's not hard in the eyes. I agree, Jaden. I found rock and roll to be at the very least decent. Yeah, I agree, Jaden. I found rock and roll to be at best decent. It's not a bad game. It has its problems, sure, but not enough to make it like a bad fan game. See, now we're going somewhere with these gimmicks. I know this gimmick is pretty simple, but it works. In fact, I want to showcase something else with the Mega Jump. You can control how high you jump as well. So it's similar to the Mega Man 5 Rush Coil in that regard. Counted Ray Bits I found to be inferior to Rock and Roll. It had several balancing issues. It had several balancing issues and outright bugs. Hello, Flame Slash Heat Man. And now you can see why the mid-charge shot and now you can see why the half-charge shots work better against bosses. A recolored Sparkman, but his body's different. A recolored Sparkman, but his arms are different. Power Man, in contrast with Earthman, is much tougher. But his stage is a lot better, having an actual gimmick and better difficulty. Having an actual gimmick that is utilized. And by defeating him, we get the Heat Wave. Who should I go after next? Blade Man wins. I will give credit to the developer, even though these sprites have been reused and edited. At the very least, these are unique. They aren't just directly At the very least, these aren't the same RMs from previous Mega Man Classic games. They are their own robots. Many fan games just decide to reuse RMs from the Classic series. Sure, go ahead, Iwumi. By the way, here's the Heat Wave. Pretty fun to use weapon, fairly powerful. One shot's most weak to medium enemies. One shot's most weak to medium enemies. One shot's most weak to medium strength enemies. Speaking of stunned enemies, I did a full Let's Play of it over. I did a full Let's Play of Quinn's Revenge on my channel, iWoomy. I already did a full Let's Play of that game, iWoomy. Currently my two favorite Mega Man ROM hacks are 4 Voyage and 4 minus Infinity. 5 Double Jumper was pretty fun as well. 2 No Constancy, although a bit controversial in some 2 No Constancy, although a bit controversial in certain segments of the fandom, I find it to be one of the best Mega Man 2 ROM hacks out there. One 1.6 is fun. I was hoping for a music. 1.6 is fun. I didn't think they would add. 1.6 is fun. I didn't think they would add a full co-op mode to the game. I didn't think they would add a full co-op building mode to the game, though. Again, not too much of a challenge. When I first played this game, I didn't expect him to be a shield user. By defeating him, we get the blade barrier. Who should I go after next? Spikeman it is. Controversial in the sense that it's a Mega Man 2 ROM hack that doesn't exactly resolve the issues the original Mega Man 2 had. And of course, there is a certain part of the community that doesn't like any ROM hack from Mega Man 2. Coldens with a new hairdo. Coldens without their hats. Instead they have a needle hat. Well, apparently opening the menu resets my invulnerability frames. Welcome to the stream, Ironhide. Welcome to the stream, Ironhide and Mega Man. I'm currently playing the fan game Mega Man Dr. Wily's Return. That's why I said yesterday, don't take one reviewer's opinion as gospel. That's why I said yesterday. That's why I said on yesterday's morning stream, don't just listen to one LPer or reviewer's opinions. Listen to multiple when forming your own. Mega Man 5 pulled off a similar trick in Napalm Man's stage. And here's the blade barrier. Sadly not that useful. It gets destroyed too quickly. We'll get Dive first. We'll get X9 probably next year or the year after. We'll probably get X9 at the end of next year or the year after that. Depending on how well Dive works. Depending on how well Dive performs. Depending on how well Dive performs. I will credit the game for having some nice I will credit the game for having some nice graphics though. That's what I was worried about. Knockback. Would have preferred the checkpoint being after the mini-boss, but... Would have preferred there being another checkpoint after the mini-boss, but... Could be worse. Oh yeah, if you open and close the menu, you fall off ladders. The joys of playing the joys of playing fan games. The joys of playing some of the earlier Mega Man Classic fan games. I get the feeling that this fan game was either made in the early 2010s or even before that. Also another stage that actually has a gimmick and uses it. A bit on the tougher side, but not by much. I beat Rock and Roll on stream, Ironhide. And by defeating him, I get the Spike Shot. Like a weaker version of the Heat Wave. Frostman it is. Strange that this game reused the name Frostman, even though he's an RM in Mega Man 8. I understand why they reused the name Blade Man, as not everyone knows about the Mega Man DOS titles. I'll use this as my buster replacement for the game. Once again, pretty nice graphics. Also some minor sprite alterations. I also see some minor sprite alterations going on. What? I wasn't even touching the spike there. Oh goody. The seals are somewhat like Sniper Joe's now. Not sure why I died earlier there. I guess shooting increases your hitbox size. I wouldn't put it past this game to have that. I wouldn't put it past the game to do that. I wouldn't put it past the game if it did that. Oh boy. Thankfully that wasn't too bad, thanks to this game's altered physics. Of course, it pushed me back. And it's starting to just shoot out of nothing. I'm gonna do a deliberate game over here. You can always just check my Let's Play list, as well as all the playlists I have on my channel, Mega Man. It's only when they're in that state where I can actually shoot through their, where I can actually damage them. And just like with most of my LPs that I do live, this will be edited down in post. Mega Man Origins is also my playlist, and honestly, this game feels better than that. It's only when the seal's eyes are open when I can damage it. It's only when the seal's eyes are open when I can damage it. It's only when the seal's eyes are open when I can damage it. That's what makes them like the Sniper Joes of this game. Oh boy, here we go. Of course, I can get pulled down even through invulnerability frames. This is my least favorite part of the stage, by the way. And that actually acts like a bottomless pit, it's not spikes. Again, that's why I hate these sorts of things, because they can just pierce right through stuff. Even in the original Crystal Man stage, I did not like this. It seems like it just follows a random pattern. And I need a better introduction. Yeah, in some ways it's worse because... in a few ways it's worse than Crystal Droppers because it goes out faster. They actually give you a better chance anyways, Heavy Lead. Well, of course, my weapons don't recharge per stage. Gee, tangs. And I can't go back down ladders either. This is why I tend to save the stage for last. Enemies don't respawn either. I hate what I dislike so strong about this is that they can still hit you even when your invulnerability frames are up. Even the Crystal Droppers could never do that. This makes this entire screen extremely unfair. This game does not have any save states, Heavy Lead. This is just a fan game. Alright, after 5 attempts I made it past that one screen. Alright, after 5 attempts I made it past that one section. Worst part of the stage, this is why I tend to hold this off as being the last RM stage. They should either be made more consistent, Or there should be a better way to dodge them. They should be made more consistent or follow a certain pattern. Otherwise, try doing that without using a blade barrier. The other issue is that they pierce through. The other issue is that they seemingly pierce through your invulnerability frames. Well, it's been on my playlist for about 2 years now, Buster. There are places where I can find these. Welcome to the stream, Pixel Boy and Buster. And that's the strangest thing. It's really only this stage out of the... And that's the strangest thing. It's only that one minor section out of this one entire iron stage which I find to be very problematic. The rest of the game isn't this difficult. Or unfair. Maybe only one screen during one of the final stages, sure, but that'll be coming later. See, this boss pattern is a lot better. See, I don't mind this boss pattern. He could do it a little bit more telegraphing, but otherwise, his attacks are fairly dodgeable. And by defeating him, we get the Ice Shard. So like the Shotgun Ice. Who should I go after next? Stormman it is. And because I'm at 0 lives, I'll deliver the game over here. Alright, back up to 2 lives. Let's play around with the Ice Shard. Compared with the Heat Wave, I'd rather save that only for... Compared with the Heat Wave, I'll save that for weakness affiliations. I did it too high. And for these boss battle, and until I get to the Wily Castle levels, I won't be using World Master Weaknesses. I won't be using World Master Weaknesses. And it appears that Pippies don't give up as easily here. Hopefully one of these can drop an extra life. Oh yeah, another section that I can break by using the Mega Jump. To demonstrate. Essentially, several enemies seem to act like Snapper Joes. Another such enemy are the Seals. Because he kept using that Tornado Dash attack, he was fairly straightforward. Even his base pattern is fairly straightforward to get a hold on, to get a handle on. Even his base pattern is pretty simple to get a hold on. Even his base pattern is pretty simple to get a handle on. And by defeating him, we get the Thundercloud. And by defeating him, we get the Thundercloud, which is essentially like the air shooter. Atomic or energy? Energy Man it is. As for who made this game, Buster, according to a source I found online, this game was made by the user Atomic Fire. I can't find any contact information about them though. Now let's try the Thundercloud. At last, an extra life in the wild, as well as the first D-Tank of the game. When I first played this game in my own time, enemies more frequently dropped extra lives. But of course, due to the LPR's curse, the enemies are deciding to barely drop extra stuff. Enemies are deciding to not drop extra lives. Well, at the very least, it seems that this game's drop rate is about the same as Mega Man 5's. Or close to it. If you say so, Mega Man 2407, this still feels like a fangame to me. I still hold the opinion that Pyro Man stage is the best Roadmaster stage of the game, because it actually has a unique gimmick, and it utilizes it throughout the entirety of the stage, and it has technically 2 new enemy types. And yeah, I don't know how to dodge the energy flash. This game predates Mega Man Maker by several years, perhaps even a decade. And by defeating him, we get the energy flash. So last but not least is Atomic Man. Really, the best part of this game are its graphics. The minor touch-ups to some of the tile sets are nice to look at. And Pyro Man stage, and one other stage coming up later. Other than that though, I don't really recommend this. And here's how the energy flash works. It's this game's screen clearing weapon. Also fill-ups are instantaneous. They don't delay you, thankfully. At least most of the weapons feel at the very least decent. They don't suck is what I'm saying. Oh no. I forgot that this stage has the force beams. Which, to be honest, weren't that bad. Yeah, I played Dr. Wily's Final Attack on the channel, along with Maho Warrior. And thus Atomic Man has ran out of energy. By defeating him, we get the Atomic Laser, a faster-firing version of the Spike Cannon, a faster-firing version of the Spike Shot, This looks like a fusion of 2 or 3 Wily castles. Wily did not have enough time or funds to rebuild his fortress completely, so he cobbled together what he had. And I want to say, I unironically love the Mega Jump in this game. It sort of acts like Mega Man 5's Rush Coil, without the use of Rush. Without the requirement of using Rush, that is. This Zatrone was even easier than the first one thanks to that block. Now this one, however, well, you got me there. Also, as you can see, the Atomic Laser is better than a Spike Shot. It deals twice the amount of damage, because it one-shot those roller enemies. Again. Sometimes I feel the knockback is a bit stronger than what I remember it to be. It feels... Oh, of course, and I forgot to mention, you can't go back down ladders because it acts like a bottomless pit. I'll say this again. The hardest part of the game are not the enemies. I'll say this again. The amount of damage the enemies deals. The amount of damage the enemy deal. The amount of damage the enemies deals. The amount of damage that enemies deal isn't as scary. It's really the knockback which I'm more worried about. Help. Thank you, Matt. Hardhead is Mega Man's enemy. He would have left him there. Perhaps that was Eddie in disguise. Oh no. That's what I was worried about. Still not bad as a version. Still not as bad as a version in Frostman's stage. The reason being because you actually have the blade barrier here, whereas there, you may or may not have it. Calm down, YouTube. Nothing too crazy has happened yet. Again, they pierce through my guard too. That's what makes them so. That's what makes them so terrible. Again, the main enemy of this game is knockback, not damage, not anything else. I'll just say right now, the worst Wily photo stages are the first and last one. There you are, you didn't really miss much. Thankfully, the letters of the hitboxes are rather big. It's on the below par side. Very forgettable, don't recommend it. And Basic Master really isn't the best at the bottom scale. I'd put on below it. Basically, most of the stages are forgettable, and 2 of the stages have some very questionable design in 1 or 2 sections. Put it another way, this is closer to Basic Master than to Rock Force. Here we go, the Room of Debt. Sometimes I panicked a bit there. Go ahead, Buster. Even spikes aren't really that dangerous in this game. Reskins, although they have different patterns. I mashed the fire button. Yeah, I'm gonna have to game over here. Again, I'll say it again. The worst parts of this game are that one section of Frostman's stage and this section, and the dropping section. Moral of the story, don't make crystal droppers worse. I think I know what happened with that glitch level too. I think what happens is that too many enemies end up dying at the same time while the player dies, so it just hard freezes the engine. Because the game didn't crash, it just hard locked. Only one? What makes it harder to diagnose is that there's no error messages either. The game just locks up. If anything else, it makes me think it's something like a divide by zero error, or a severe memory corruption. Exactly. Something happens when it's shooting. It's supposed to crush it, but... if it was part of the Mega Engine, I could have tested it out there, but... alright, take... okay. See, again, it pulls me down. And there's... I doubt it happens in Mega Mix because the collision attack, the way the collision code works is flipped around a bit. It's not gravity, it's the boulder. The boulder is one of the few objects, along with the crystals, which actually just ignore invulnerability frames, so they just pull you down. Again, the other problem is, well, they're random. Even more random than the crystal droppers, to be fair. I prefer the crystal droppers over... I strongly prefer the crystal droppers over these because they don't just pull you into the abyss randomly. And if you jump too high, as I did, and randomly, if you die twice, it seems that you get pulled right back to the start of the stage. Here we go again. Yeah, good coding. We'll eventually get there. Mind you, this is one of the only stages where this happens, which is even more bizarre. And mind you, I already beat this game, so I'm speaking from experience here. Excuse me. Take 8. Wow. I don't understand. Sometimes it picks up, sometimes it doesn't. The issue again is the engine runs at 30 FPS, so A similar issue occurred with Blaiga's engine, to be fair. Which is why... This is one of the older engines. I have the strong feeling that this game was made before 2010. Which explains a lot. Take umpteen. What did I bump my... Oh, yeah. Of course, extra lives don't work because... This is... I'm just gonna deliberately die over here. To answer your question, Buster, pretty much all the engines before a certain date. I mean, pre-2010, there were barely any Mega Man engines that ran at 60 FPS. Frankly, the game that changed it... Nah, CX was better than R, and this is... we're not going to R levels yet. If we're at R levels, we'll take another stream to complete the game. This is only one stage, by the way. R was just terrible all around. The game that actually forced people to start changing up their engines was Unlimited, by the way. Thank goodness for that. And Roku-chan. Boulder, ice dropping. There are basically two problems with that gimmick. First problem, it's random how many drop. Second problem, it pierces through your guard and it pulls you down with it. It acts like a solid object. I wouldn't mind it being solid if it wasn't as random. And I wouldn't mind it being random if it wasn't solid. If anything, it takes it into almost troll-level territory. That's why knockback is your main enemy in the game, not enemies themselves, the damage they deal. Basically, because the game isn't usually this bad. And it shouldn't be that difficult to fix. If you can't fix the solid problem, then just make them more consistent. But yeah. Thank goodness we kind of moved away from this design post 2010. In the fangame spirit, that is. Again, I'm taking it in my perspective. It's a simple fix. One of them is a simple fix. I'm just thinking, like, if we have a random function, just stub it out with a constant number. Take attempt number 12. And the barrier doesn't seem to work as effective. I wish I could just damage boost off of something. Wait, let me try and see if there's anything else that can destroy them. Nope. What? Ah, I panicked a bit and pressed left. Almost there. And of course, the other reason why I'm not just going directly forwards is because it doesn't refill my weapon energy unless I continue. And I can't rely on it working. Once we get past this stage though, it's gonna become smooth sailing from here on out. Really, this is just a good example of why you shouldn't combine random elements with stuff that pierces through guards and not give a better shield. Now, if that shield protected against all the boulders and never got destroyed, it'd be awesome. It'd work. Of course, the other issue is that that is very close to the midway checkpoint too. Take 14. I think doing a lower jump would be better. Of course, it just trolls me with that. I get the feeling that I broke it because it didn't happen before twice, so... Can you give me a moment, please? I'm gonna reset this. Alright, restart the game. Hopefully that bug doesn't appear again. Now can I make it past? Let's hope the extra lives are useful for once. This time my jump didn't even work, but I was low on life anyways. Again with jumping too high. Okay, it's a complete bug with the game where if you die 2 times there, you get reset to the beginning. LP's curse, because I didn't have this much trouble when I did this off screen. Oh yeah, the other issue using the blade barrier like that, because you can actually turn it on and off by using the fire button. So if I rapid fire it, I can end up with a situation where I accidentally turn it off. Yeah, Still is. Again, I wish I could just use a password and skip past this entire thing, and then I can record it in post. Alright everyone, I made it past. So this time, it appears that the boulders are following a set pattern. All of them. So that's how I was able to get across. It's it. So let's take a look. Something that'll make you happy to know, Daibuman, is that the halfway charge shot deals 2 damage to bosses. Frankly, actually it deals 2 damage to basically everything. At last, Wily Fortress 1 is done. After spending over 30 to 40 minutes on this, I was lucky that the boulders were starting to follow a set pattern. Perhaps the same happened during the perhaps the same thing happened during the crystal shard dropping section. So that resolved one problem. Still, I don't like how they can pierce right to your invulnerability frames. Also, how the game sends you back to the starter stage if you died more than 2 times there. If you died 2 times there. And if you're wondering what its weakness was, it was a spike shot. Don't worry, it gets easier from here on out. In retrospect though, in order to balance the bosses, I feel they should have had longer invulnerability frames to account for the half charge shot dealing 2 damage to them. Of course, part of the difficulty I had in the previous section Of course, one of the reasons I may have had difficulty in the previous section would be that I may have not paid enough attention to what was going on. There may have been a pattern all along this time. There may have been a pattern all along. I just wasn't getting it. That'll be edited down into a death montage. That was a really short stage in comparison. Hello there, Big Pets Tank. Yep. Most of the RMs are Frankenstein RMs. In fact, because of how long it takes to fully charge up your charge shot, it's more optimal to use a half charge shot against everything, especially bosses. It basically tears through them. The big pet's tank's weakness was the thundercloud, by the way. And no, this is not the final stage of the Wily Fortress. There's still at least 2 stages left after this. And I should be using my special weapons more, to be honest. Again, more than half the special weapons in this game aren't bad. The only ones which I say are a bit underpowered would be the Sonic Blast outside of rocks, and perhaps the Blade Barrier outside of one section. The rest are fine. The Spike Shot does get outclassed by the Atomic Laser though, outside of weakness affiliations. One of the nicer Yoku Block sections. Help, let me go please, Yoku Block. Hey Vincenzo, welcome to the stream. I'm getting near the end of this game. One of the 2 new enemy types that are added to the game. These originated from Pyroman's stage. Compared with 1, these stages feel shorter, more so with 2. I don't know what this boss's weakness is, but don't use the energy flash against it. Let me show you why. Using the energy flash against this boss refills its health. And yeah, it's kind of like the Boobean Trap, but at least you can use the Mega Buster against it. And Freeze Man with the Freeze Cracker. But hey, at least we have a unique boss fight. Now. Goodbye, Boobean Trap Mach 2. I don't know what the actual name of this boss is, so I'll call it Boobean Trap Mach 2. I would have preferred if it took more damage from the charge shot. Ooh, that background. And oh yeah, this gimmick from Power Man stage. The only new gimmick added in this game. And that was actually utilized to a good amount. And it was actually utilized to a decent amount. A little bit harder to distinguish the red Yoku blocks from the red. A little bit harder to distinguish the red Yoku blocks from the red background. Oops. Yeah, I forgot. This scrolls downwards. My bad. Good thing they put a checkpoint there. Because they knew a player would have died. I don't really mind this Yoko Box section. Compared to many of the other Yoko Box sections I encountered in Mega Man fan games and Mega Man Maker, and Mega Man fan games, ROM hacks, and Mega Man Maker, these are on the fairer side. Also, Flame Deer, rematches are in the next stage. A variant of this boss. That one boss from Mega Man 4. That one for this, a modified form of that one boss from Mega Man 4. Hey, at least it's unique. I want more of these types of Fortress bosses. Its weakness is Ice Shard, by the way. Oh, from Mega Man 5 and Mega Man 6. Gotcha. I'll be right back in a moment. Let's do this. Rematch stage time. In case you need refills. Like Mega Man 1 and Mega Man and Base, you fight the bosses in a specific order. Power Man is weak to the Ice Shard. Energy Man. He's weak to the Sonic Blast, aka Earthman's weapon. Blade Man. He's weak to Storm Man's weapon, the Thundercloud. Frostman. He's weak to the Heat Wave, which is Pyroman's weapon. Yeah, this game actually has 2 weakness orders. Pyro and Frostman have their own weakness chain. Basically, Pyro beats Frost, who beats Pyro. And for the other 6 RMs, it's Stormman beats Blademan, beats Spikeman, beats Earthman, beats Energy Man, beats Atomic Man, beats Stormman. Earthman, he's weak to the Spike Shot. Like Frostman, he never moves from that spot. Stormman is weak to the Atomic Laser from Atomic Man. I don't know, Red, I'm focusing on the game right now. Atomic Man, he's weak to the Energy Flash, granted by... which is obtained... He's weak to the Energy Flash, from Energy Man. Of course, I used it too fast. Spike Man. His weakness is the Spike Man. His weakness is the Blade Barrier from Blade Man. I don't know about you, but all the RM designs in this game feel meh to me. Hope you saved enough for the Sonic Blast. And now the spike dropping section, where thankfully you fall slower being underwater. And fail to make the jump properly. Oops. I'm gonna take a safe route on damage boost. When in doubt, always damage. When in doubt, damage boosting is the key to success. Also note the portrait of Quickman in the background. Depends on the setup. Gravity Man, Night Man, Napalm Man, Gemini Man. Now time to face off against the Wily machine. For the first phase, it's weak to the Ice Shard. You know, considering many of the other fan games or automatics I played in the past, I thought this game would be much more generous in terms of V-tanks. For the second phase, it's weak against the. For the second phase, it's weak to the spike shot. Now only one stage left over. This is in fact the final stage of the game. Wily in his armored suit. So the final boss is Wily in his armored suit. So the final boss is Wily in some power armor. And he takes only one damage from the half-charge shots too. In fact, I think he only takes 2 damage from the full charge shots. Down, Wily. Now time for the ending, which has the best joke. And now Mega Man owns the Wily saucer. So this is a good time to give my overall thoughts on Mega Man Dr. Wily's Return as a whole. First, starting off with the graphics and music. Frankly, I feel the graphics are the best part of this game. Most of the tile sets are taken directly from the Mega Man Classic games. But the minor touch-ups that are done, as well as the applications of these tile sets, are decent. Music was directly taken from the Of course, some stages are more pleasant to look at than others. Music was all the music was directly taken from the Mega Man Classic series, so I have nothing more to say about them, other than the fact that the further stages should have had more musical tracks, instead of reusing some of it. Now on to the gameplay. To sum it up, this game was at best okay, but unfortunately had several major dips, which were apparent during Frostman's stage and Wily 1, specifically during the crystal dropping / boulder dropping sections. Oh boy, I'm not sure if they follow a strict pattern or not, but assuming if they don't, that's a terrible setup. Not only because they fall randomly, but also because they pierce right through your invulnerability frames, and they act like solid objects, so if you get hit by them, you're dragged into the abyss. In fact, in general, enemies don't really deal that much damage to you. What makes most of the enemies dangerous is that they can knock you into bottomless pits. Even all the bosses aren't really that difficult. Only one or two of them pose some challenge, but even then, they were marginally more difficult. One such example was Energy Man, with all of his energy orbs flying everywhere. Weaponry in this game was okay to decent. Outside of perhaps two of the weapons, those being the Sonic Blast, and the Blade Barrier, all of them did their job pretty well. Although some weapons were definitely outclassed by others. For example, the Spike Shot and the Ice Shard were easily outclassed by the Atomic Laser. And even though the Sonic Blast is rather powerful, it takes quite a bit of weapon energy to use, and there are not that many durable enemies scattered throughout the game, so it's better to just spam either the Spike Shot or Atomic Laser. Energy Flash was a fine screen clearing weapon. The Storm Shot was basically the air shooter. The Atomic Laser was the best rapid-firing weapon of the game, and the Power Blast was one of the best, and the Heat Wave was one of the best medium rounders. And the Power Blast was one of the best medium damagers. Didn't require that much weapon energy to use, but dealt more damage than the Atomic Laser. In general though, this game is okay at best, but marred with several aspects of bad game design. Not to mention this engine feels a bit awkward, running at 30 FPS, and has some inaccurate physics. So I don't recommend you play this game. I recommend just watching a playthrough of this. Save your time for better fan games, especially the newer ones. Well then, I hope you all enjoyed my Let's Play of Mega Man Dr. Wily's Return, viewers. If you enjoyed it, please rate, comment, favorite, and/or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play. Alright, one game left. Time for a better experience. Greetings everyone, my name is Zetterville, and I welcome you all to my Let's Try of Mega Man X++ for Mega Man X++'s first public demo. This was released on February 3rd of 2020, and I'm excited to try it out. I thought I put a reminder to check this out, but I never got an alert that this was released. So without further ado, let's start this out. So far, physics feel okay. We basically have the same abilities as we do starting from X2 and X3. Wall jumping works fine as well. Keep in mind though, this is the first work in progress. Keep in mind though, this is a very early work in progress build. So there are probably tons of bugs. So there's probably tons of bugs scattered around the place. One such example is that the sound effects are much louder than the music. Sadly, there's no pause menu, so I can only rely on the buster. Oh hey, a Dr. Light capsule. By the way, this is my first time playing through the demo, so I apologize for any silly mistakes or false assertions I'll make. So that gave us the arm parts. What did they do? Allows us to fire a triple charge shot. I wonder what's to the left of here. Oh, the right armor. Let's try it out. Oh, I can disengage out of it even in midair. I don't think this is supposed to be possible. I can't get back in either. And now it acts like an enemy. Can I even get it out of here? And I can still hear it in the background too. It never despawned. Well, okay then. That's funny. Do any enemies drop life pickups? I haven't seen them do it. Now what upgrade do we get? The body parts. I suppose it decreases all damage you take by 50%. It acts like an enemy, but I'm still controlling it. So it's gone half Maverick. And yet still I can hear it off screen. Hi there, Chill Penguin. That's a new attack. Whenever you jump on the ground, you fire those icicles that follow the wall. Goodbye, Chill Penguin. You're only slightly more difficult. think this was a remix of X6's boss theme playing in the background. So that was a demo. In the final version, this is going to be like a Mega Man X version of Mega Man Maker, but even more expansive because it allows you to make your own. Because it allows you to script your own custom objects. From what I've heard, I'm getting conflicting messages though. I've heard from some that the project has been cancelled. I've heard from others that it's still under development. Now what's in here? 0. Was this ladder always here? Well, that was easy. He didn't even have a Z-Saber. Zero? Are you done exploding now? I guess we'll leave the continuous explosion in the background then. I guess we'll leave him to explode then. So as I was saying, I'm getting conflicting messages whether this game has been cancelled or is still under development, under a new engine. I've also heard that this engine may be open sourced. The old version at the very least. It's still under development, good. I was worried for a moment it was not under. I got conflicting messages yesterday that it was cancelled or something. Yeah, we'll be able to make our own full Mega Man X levels in the full version YouTube. Using an editor similar to Mega Man Maker. Using an editor similar to Mega Man Maker's. So far the physics feel pretty accurate. I don't see any major problems there. Though as you saw with the right armor, if you dash jump out of the right armor just as you attack, then it acts separately to you. It basically goes half Maverick and it can kill you. So yeah, hopefully that's fixed in the future update. I also wonder if I missed any of the light upgrades here. There was an arm and body upgrade. Is there an upgrade for the helmet and legs hidden somewhere? Like I have to slide down one of these areas? Like I have to slide down one of these walls? I suppose not. But in any case, this was a demo. Just a series of several screens, as well as a harder version of Chill Penguin at the end. And we got to play around with the right armor. So far, it looks interesting. I will come back and let's try a future public demo when it comes out, especially when more actual levels, especially when we get custom backgrounds and tile sets that are not just the green cyberspace that we have now. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles! Thank you for watching the stream, everyone. It's really appreciated. And sorry for the amount of difficulty I had during Dr. Wily's return. If that didn't happen, the stream would have ended 45 minutes ago. Yeah, Snivy, sorry about that. You hopped on just as we're ending. There will be an evening stream for Wildermyth. Hopefully I'll be able to finish the campaign and avoid a repeat of what happened last week. Thank you, everyone. Farewell.